Hey everyone, Golden Ninja 3000 here again. Today I'm taking a quick look at LEGO Ninjago City Markets. This is set number 71799. It's got 6,163 pieces, 21 minifigures, and it retails for 370 US dollars. This set released last June, but I only just built it because I've got such a crazy LEGO backlog. The Ninjago City series is like my favorite set of Lego sets ever. Like they are just absolutely incredible. I buy every single one of them. I didn't love this one based on pictures, and I am going to say right off the bat, this is my least favorite Ninjago City set by far. I think it's kind of a huge step down from the other ones in a lot of respects, but I wanted to do a video on it for that reason. I wanted to discuss like why I think it's not as good as the other sets, and because it's still a really cool set, and I like taking a look at cool LEGO sets on my channel. Before we get into it though, I do want to remind everyone that I am an employee of the LEGO Group. However, all opinions expressed in these videos are my own and do not necessarily reflect the views of the LEGO Group, and LEGO is a registered trademark of the LEGO Group of companies, which does not sponsor, authorize, or endorse this site. This isn't a full review because it's been over a year since this set came out, so I'm just going to do it kind of quickly. And part of that is not taking a look at minifigures individually. So let's go ahead and zoom in. You get like 6 of the ninja in this set. You've got Lloyd, Nia in their Dragon's Rising outfits. This is the only Ninjago City set to be based on Dragon's Rising. You have Blacksmith Kai, who I really like because of that glowing sword. And then you've got the new ninja, Aaron and Sora. I really like Sora's design. I love her color scheme, and she has like the gold arm. That's really awesome. Aaron, I don't love his color scheme as much, but he still looks like a cool enough minifigure. I have not seen Dragon's Rising. Honestly, I haven't seen anything past season 10 of the Ninjago TV show. So I think that's Zane next to them as a detective, but I don't know why he is a detective. So feel free to enlighten me in the comments. I just buy these sets because I still love Ninjago from when I was growing up. I do know a couple of these characters, though. We have Cyrus Borg, finally, like a regular minifigure version of him. He looks perfect. We have Gail Gossip, who I love that we're getting as a minifigure, and her cameraman. And then we've got like a bunch of other like civilian minifigures. I do think some of these characters are named, but I don't have the box with me. I didn't even look at it to figure out what their names are. I like that character with the purple hair a lot. She has great printing, and I like that hairpiece. I'm glad we get so many civilians. There's 21 minifigures in this set. That's a very healthy number. There's a Borg Store employee in the blue. I like the guy working at like the sushi stand as well in the red and the white, although the white printing on his torso is pretty bad. We have Dareth, who's running a bar or a karaoke bar for some reason. That's hilarious. And then there's one villain in this set, and I do think that she looks pretty cool. So this review is probably going to be fairly critical because, like I said, it is my least favorite Ninjago City set. It is the largest of all of them with over 6,000 pieces. I do think the value for money is great. It's $370 with 21 minifigures. I've said this before, but when you start getting into like $350, $400 price points for Lego sets, money starts to become meaningless because a Lego set at that price point could feel like a good value, like if it goes higher or if it goes lower. Personally, I think this set for 370 is a great deal when you think about how much stuff you get to do with it. I could definitely see this being sold at 400, maybe even 450, but once you start getting past that, I think it would be very overpriced. And here's where I have a problem with this set. It's 6,000 pieces, and it just feels like less than the sum of its parts. That's the thing that bothered me ever since we saw the photos, and it's what's bothering me now. I really, really hate that whole empty area in the middle. I just can't get over that. I absolutely hate it. That whole walkway back there is just so under detailed and looks extremely, extremely plain compared to everything else in all of the other Ninjago City sets. To me, it ruins the entire set. But that's not all. There's just a lot of different design changes here that I don't agree with. Obviously, you have like the huge cable car running across the center of this city square. I don't like that. I don't think the function works very well. I'll start getting into all of this, but yeah, I don't think the function works well. I don't think it makes any sense. Like it's a cool feature, I guess. Like it's cool that they managed to make that work, but I just think it uses like so many parts and it kind of kills the rest of the set. it holds the rest of the set back from being as good as the other Ninjago City sets, and to do that all in the service of a cable car is kind of lame. So let's start with like kind of the main square, I guess. I like this area. It is very wide open, but to me, it doesn't feel too open. I mean, I really like this bridge. I like that you have like a stand at the back. Maybe there could have been like another stand back here. It's just, it is a lot of open space. It's much more open space than in any other Ninjago City set, except for the docks, which were like, the docks were like the back of the set though, like where the docks were. This is the front of the set. I'm okay with that. Like cities should open out into town squares and things like that. So I think that this open space is fine. I really like the little boat with like the fruit. There's a slightly better look at that. And like the flower box. There also seems to be some kind of like tea stall on the side over here. So I don't know what that's all about, but I think it's pretty nice. Everything on the ground floor seems up to the standard of the other Ninjago City sets to me. You've got a little bakery in the corner. I quite like that sticker on the side. You've got Kai's blacksmith shop, which I think is an excellent reference. I really like the way the roofs are built. This one uses some upside down books, and I really like this hanging like bun sign outside. It's really clever design, and I think it's wonderful. And speaking of design, I did meet the designer of this set, Marcus Rollbuehler, I think is how you pronounce his last name, at Brickworld Chicago last summer, and he is such a nice person. I think that the stuff that he designs, like everything in this set that he's set out to do, has been executed very well. So I think that he's a great designer. I'm not trying to bash on his design. I just don't like some of the choices that were made here when you compare it to the other Ninjago City sets. In this corner, we have another shop, and then above it is Aaron and Sora's apartment. And then you do have like some cool advertisements on the side of this pillar here. I like the way that those are angled in. And then this bay is kind of where the cable car retreats into. And so then this corner is actually where you get into the cable car. And I'm going to have to drop the camera. I guess I shouldn't have left it at a high angle for this section. But this is one of my favorite references in the set. It's like a poster advertising. I think it's advertising travel to the Ninjago Christmas Temple set, which was an employee gift in 2022. I actually bought that set on Bricklink. I'm going to have to build it at some point, but that's a really nice little reference. And overall, like the whole like old town portion of the city, to me, it feels pretty nice. What I don't like about it is that there's no like you don't access it in the typical way that you usually access Ninjago City buildings. So you can't lift off the street section because the cable car has to like run into here. So none of this is removable. Instead, you get access by sliding out parts of the buildings. So the bakery interior slides out and it doesn't lock into place at all. I mean, it's a really nice interior. It looks great, but I'm kind of upset that there's no way to ever see that, like, with minifigures inside. Like, you can peek in through the doorways, but I don't like the sliding out thing versus the top-down modular view. That's a personal preference thing. It is pretty nice that they've been designed to slide out. But again, there's no way to lock it in place, so it just freely slides, and I don't like that. It's the same thing with the top section, which is a little apartment. Love that bed build and like the portrait on the wall. And I really like that the staircase like comes up into the apartment. But again, I would love to see that. You know, I'd love to be able to actually look at how it's supposed to look instead of just seeing a cutaway section because there's no other way to view it. So that's totally a me thing, and that's fair. I'm sure some people prefer the sliding out entrances. Up here, this part also slides out. It kind of locks into place, but it's a pretty weak build right there. This is like another little apartment. You've got like a desk inside and stuff like that. So this to me is a better view. I like this more, like just removing the wall and seeing like the actual building stay inside the structure as opposed to the sliding out thing. So let me know what you guys think about it, but I definitely still prefer like the modular design overall. And then spinning this thing around to the back, you have Kai's blacksmith shop. This is totally open. And actually, this is another great time to point out what I really, really don't like about this set. This is definitely my least favorite thing about this set overall. And that is that the back is just completely undisplayable. The back of this set looks awful. I hate how it looks from the back. Every other Ninjago City set, can be viewed 360 degrees. Honestly, like I usually rotate my Ninjago City display. I'll display it from the front for like a year or two, and then I switch it around to the back and display it from the back for a year or two because they're just so detailed. There is so much you can do around 360 degrees of all of the other Ninjago City sets. That's not the case with this one. You can't do anything back here except for like a little bit in this corner and like some stuff up at the top. Like this corner is perfect in terms of what you can do at the back. This corner is lacking and all of this is terrible. I'm really, really upset that this isn't a 360-degree play experience because the other sets have been so wonderful at being like that. And the reason this isn't 360 degrees is, again, just because that cable car takes up the entire middle of the set. And so it's taking up all of the room where usually these buildings would be maybe like a little bit more forward. And so you would have more space at the back to build out more play. Like, I can't imagine displaying this next to the back of the Ninjago City docks. Like, the thought makes me want to barf. I feel like it's going to look awful. I am going to do a connection video with all of them. I don't even know if they'll all fit on this desk of mine. But yeah, it just really, really upsets me. I was extremely disappointed in this set when I found out that this is what the rear of it looks like. It's just like a complete diametric opposite to the design language of the other Ninjago City sets. And I know that they're all going through like their own thing, you know, like the first two Ninjago City sets are exactly like each other. Then we had the Gardens, which was like Ninjago Legacy and still, you know, like fit pretty well with the other sets, although it had its own quirks. Like I didn't love the interiors on the Ninjago City Gardens. But this set for Dragons Rising, again, I feel like it's going in too far of a direction. It's trying to be part of the Ninjago City theme, but it's really breaking the things that made that theme so great. And I think Kai's Blacksmith Shop is a good example of this. I mean, it's a nice little shop. There's a decent interior there, but look at how flat it looks. Like, it looks like an open-backed Lego dollhouse style building. I mean, every other building in Ninjago City is fully enclosed. So clearly this is meant to be an open air building. But I mean, it just looks so awkward to me. It's so flat right there. And you're telling me that he only has like two stud widths to work on the anvil or he'll like fall into the water. It doesn't make sense. I don't like the way that this side of the building looks. I think that it should have been fully enclosed. But again, there's just like not enough room to do that. Although I guess they could have made like the water like strip here. It's like 3 studs or 4 studs long. I feel like they could have made it even thinner than that. On the second level, you have the Borg Store. This also has removable panels, although it is also modular. So I like that there's both. Again, like that seems like a nice compromise. The store is pretty empty though. Again, kind of disappointing. It's got like some racks of products and a door to enter, but there's not even like a cash register, so that doesn't make sense to me. I guess maybe they're doing mobile checkout, but still it's so empty. I definitely feel like there was enough room for a cash register. And then this is Cyrus Borg's office. It's very small, but I mean it's got everything you want in an office: a keyboard, a computer, a lamp. And what I like about this is that it is modular as well, like I mentioned, but kind of only partially modular. So first of all, it's like very weak. I'm not loving this, that like it's only connected with a couple of studs. Like the base is connected pretty firmly, but like this section is only connected with a couple of studs. I don't like that. It feels like a much weaker connection than other Ninjago City sets. And then you can't remove the roof whatsoever. I do really like the design of this building in general. I love these pieces, love the color scheme. I also really like these like steel girder style designs. But because of these girders, you can't remove the roof, even though the roof should be pretty easily removable. These prevent you from removing it. So I don't like this mix of styles. All the other Ninjago City sets are like totally modular, and then we get to this one, which is just like half modular, but in a really weak way. And then here's where the cable car comes in. So I do like the tree on top, but I'm going to go ahead and cut it out of the shot. You do have this little elevator to access like the different sections of Borg Tower, which is nice, but I kind of wish that there was a handle or something so that you can move it up and down more easily. I don't know where that piece goes. So there's a couple of different functions that come in here, and I figured showing it from the back would be easier because you kind of have to rotate like this gear and oops. So you have to rotate this gear, but I really don't like the way that all of this moves. Like, it's a lot of friction to be turning like just this tiny, tiny little gear. And then also with the Borg store in the way, if you're trying to turn it from the other side, this gear breaks off all the time because it's only attached with like two studs in a really weak configuration. So I don't like the whole winching system. I think it's way too hard to turn from the other side. But if you can successfully turn it, and this is just an I don't know why that elevator's breaking. I don't think that this mechanism is well done. So like I said, there's like a ton of friction, and then you bring the cable car up, and then you need to move the walkway out of the way. So there's a gear on the side here to flip up the walkway. I love that feature. I think that that is really well done. I also feel like this moves in the opposite way to what I want. Like I want to rotate the gear down to send the cable car down. Um, or no, sorry, I want to rotate the gear in like the opposite direction. Like I want to rotate it this way to bring it up and then that way to bring it down, but it works in the opposite direction. So you need to turn the gear that way in order to bring it this way, and I don't think that makes sense. But anyway, so you pull the cable car up and it comes right into this like little uh holding area, I guess. And then if I spin the set back around, you can see it in this like station almost, and then this part folds down for someone to get off. And that's the other thing. This cable car is like not very big. Like I think you could fit 2 minifigures in there comfortably, maybe 3 or 4 if you really squeeze them, but it's not like a mass transit system. This is not like the Ninjago City subway. So I'm not loving that either. There is like a staircase up to the cable car, and then there is also another elevator for Borg. So I'm really happy that Ninjago City is becoming more accessible. And you can just rotate this thing, and that'll bring the elevator right up. And that's another very nicely integrated feature. So that also kind of bothers me. This feature is so excellently done. It's so smooth. It's so perfect for that elevator. The feature to flip down the walkway is so perfect, so smooth. And then the mechanism to actually move the cable car is so clunky and like tough to use. I feel like I would like it a lot more if it was just at least easier to turn. Like it would make so much more sense if there was just a crank, like a knob that I could just grab and turn on the front instead of reaching around the back, and like the knob is so tiny. It just really doesn't work for me. Moving on to the right side of the set, this is also where like the confusing modularity of this thing comes into play. In all the other Ninjago City sets, you can lift like this kind of high-rise level straight off. And you can kind of do that here, except it's like it goes all the way around. Hang on, I need 2 hands for this. So it goes all the way around to where Borg Tower is, but I guess it does come off. It's just better to have the Borg section removed. So I'm going to go ahead and try to bring this down over here, but it's still like not really designed to be removed because you can see, whoops. Well, you can see that there's like none of this is strongly attached. This is a major problem I have with the set. The other Ninjago City sets, like the early ones, the first two, were strong enough that you could just pick them up if you wanted to. It would be very ill-advised to do that, but you could just pick them up because everything was so strongly attached together, even though it was only with a few studs. With this set, you've got what you see here. Nothing is as strongly attached as it was on previous sets. They're attached with too few studs, and that just makes it really, really easy for them to get like all knocked out of whack. So I don't love that. This is the street level. It looks pretty decent. I do like this detail underneath. I really like this little bridge. All of the advertisements and everything are great as always. But again, not really designed to be detached because you've got this play feature that kind of swings out from underneath. So that also makes it really hard to transport the set, I'm assuming. I mean, I haven't tried moving it to where I'm going to display it yet, but this whole thing is just, it's just overly complicated. And then this does let you get into Aaron and Sora's apartment, because I realized that we forgot to look at this. But again, this is such a complicated way to get access to just that section, is to lift up the whole street level and take off like everything above it, when you really shouldn't have to, because this set isn't really designed to be modular. And so if it's not designed to be modular, then don't make it half modular with like loose connections and then half like unmodular. So That's how I feel about like the general structure of it. And it just broke off another piece. I don't think this set is this fragile. I feel like I'm breaking a lot. I don't know why, because I think it might just be me and not actually the way the set is designed. But yeah, here is Aaron and Sora's apartment. Again, like this can't be removed. I wish it could be, but inside their apartment, you can see like a bed, and then this again is not attached with any studs or anything. And then there is another bed. So I mean, it's a cute apartment, but everything just feels too like loosey goosey for me. Moving down a level, I think that this is Camille's shop, but I don't really know who Camille is or what she does. This wall is removable, and then inside you can see like a bunch of products on a shelf, and then I do like that little entryway. And there is like a little checkout counter and a back exit, so I think that that is pretty nice. I like this shop a lot. This to me totally works. Like this section not being modular, like this wall attaches in with a correct number of studs. You can really get your fingers in there. That's all perfect to me, and I honestly think that this is the best interior space of the set. And then here's a quick look at those advertisements I was talking about. Love the Monster Fighters reference. That is wonderful. And then on the other side, you've got a Pirates reference right up there. And because this section is kind of modular, we'll just take a look at it separately. I'm just trying to move the rest of the set out of the way. Um, Again, I think that this section looks pretty nice. I really, really like the signage going on up here. I love that little octopus or squid. I really like this advertisement for like a big mech, and like the whole sign display. Like the way this was built was pretty interesting. I don't know if I love it because it's kind of too loose for me, but it's a very unique a way of building a sign. So I think that that is always great to see. This is Dareth's karaoke bar. Again, this is super nitpicky. I'm going to acknowledge that right now. Dareth already has a dojo in the Ninjago City Docks set, so I don't like that Dareth gets two businesses. Because again, if you have all the sets, then why is Dareth running two different businesses at once? I would have liked it if someone else was running this, but again, maybe in the new show he doesn't have a dojo anymore, and now he's running a karaoke bar. So if that's the case, that's totally cool. But I'm just saying, I would have preferred to have a different character running this establishment. I really like the entryway. I think it's pretty cool with like the double door piece. I love the color scheme, teal and purple. And then this is like the rear section I was talking about really liking, because you've got stairs up to the next level. You've got like this little ninja shrine. You have this epic sticker. I think that's Exoforce. That's really cool. And then this guy, he's like something Gordon, right? I don't know. I remember him from like season 1 of Ninjago. And then this shows the toilet flushing feature, which I'm sure everyone knows about, and I will show that at the end. But yeah, this section is also kind of modular. So you can remove the whole roof, but again, it's not attached with enough studs. It's just so loose. Okay, it attaches like back here. Sorry, it attaches back here and up here. Why isn't there also an attachment point on this side? It would just make everything stronger. And then I have the same complaint with the way this stuff works, because these roofs are also detachable, but then they're connected by this sign, and the sign isn't really strong enough to like support the weight of like the two roofs. So it is going to come unclipped. And again, it's a little bit too messy for my liking. Then this thing is removable as well, which I don't really think it should be. I feel like it should just be built into the base, but it is removable, and it always breaks off this little section at the end, so I don't know what that's all about. This is like a little sushi restaurant. I love the menu. I like the little serving window. It's got a simple door and then a very basic interior, but it's still a pretty nice one, so I do like this. And no, it doesn't bother me that we get a second sushi restaurant after we had the rooftop one in the first Ninjago City set, because I never think that you can have enough sushi. And so this attaches right there. And again, this only attaches with 2 studs at the back. Why doesn't it attach with it attaches with 4 studs. But still, I really feel like it needed to be attached with 6 or 8 studs, because it's just way too easy to remove. Then you have the bathroom. So the bathroom, like I said, I'll show you the way like the flushing feature works, but you can kind of just see into the toilet, and actually maybe it would be a better idea to keep that off. But yeah, you can see into the bathroom, and you've got like this little sign on the outside which looks pretty cool. I guess it's like an Atlantis advertisement. But the bathroom is like super deep and super tiny, so it's like impossible to get your fingers there to even load the poop into the toilet. And so, if anything in this set was begging for a removable wall, this thing is begging for this wall to be removable. But it isn't. And so, it's really, really hard to get into the bathroom. I feel like even a kid would have a hard time getting in there with their small fingers. Apart from that, the bathroom is very well detailed. I love the way the toilet is built. I love the sink. The flush is excellent. It's got like, I think that's a little toilet plunger and then some toilet paper. So this whole thing is great, but and I get like it couldn't be modular because it needs to have like the toilet flushing feature, but it should have a removable wall. Like this is the one thing in this set that really, really needed. I mean, well, the other ones need it too because you can't remove like the cable car station from above them, but this really needed a removable wall, and so I don't like that it doesn't have that. And then, sorry, we're kind of going around backwards, but that's what happens when I do a quick review, which is, of course, not that quick because I talk a lot. This is the karaoke bar. I love the like these transparent purple pieces. That looks excellent. Really like that technique. The interior of this thing is pretty cool. You've got the little karaoke station at the back. It seems like a little bit of a tight fit, but I do really like it. It's super vibey, so I think that that's pretty nice. There's a little sticker on the wall. There is the smallest little bar, but again, I really like the detail here. There's like upside down diamonds used as glasses, which I think is pretty clever. And then I also like the dartboard because it's a bar. There's games. There's also a pool table, and you can see some of the balls have fallen out, but they're just studs. And I really like that you can actually send them like into the pockets almost. I really like the way the pool table looks, but unfortunately, the way it's built in a pretty nice way. Like I like the way it's built. It's just that it's kind of an uneven surface, so you can't really play pool on it. Like if you wanted to have your minifigures like shooting the ball, the surface is pretty uneven, so it's going to get like pretty stuck. And as you can see, like the little studs do fall out quite a bit, but you've got some cues on the wall, and then there's a tiny little jukebox in the corner. So this is a pretty nice interior as well. And this one, I guess it's like my second favorite in the set after Camille's shop. So now it's time for the pièce de résistance of the entire set. You need to flush the toilet. So I'm going to go ahead and push the flush inside, and it travels through the drain pipe and it comes right out the bottom, except only one piece of poop came out, so I don't know where the other one is. But yes, it does come out into the waterways of Ninjago City. I guess the other piece of poop got lost somewhere because it has not flushed out. That's a pretty interesting feature. Again, you can see, if I raise the camera back up, you can see the way it works over here. So I kind of like that the mechanism is visible. It basically just like lowers this tile that comes down through like this advertisement into like the base, and then it's on that slanted ramp that was dropping out, and then it comes down this hollow column into the waterway. People were talking about how gross that is. I mean, isn't that how all ancient cities kind of worked, where they just flushed all their bodily waste into the drinking water? I mean, yeah, they fish and drink out of this water, so I don't love the implications, but it is a really clever feature. It's cool how far the poop travels to come out into the water. And to me, this is like the opposite of the cable car feature because I don't really think it holds the rest of the set back in any way. I don't think it, I don't think that it's like compromising anything that's essential to the Ninjago City sets, whereas the cable car is compromising the way the buildings work, and I just don't like that. I'm sure that this video has ended up quite long for a quick review, and again, that's in quotations because I really like to talk about Lego sets. But I think you guys know how I feel about this set by now. It's great to get more Ninjago City. I love the Ninjago City sets, but this one to me has a lot more negatives than the other sets. That'll probably come up a little bit more in my comparison when I can directly point at these comparisons where I think this set takes a step down. But I do respect that something different was tried here. You know, this is on 2 base plates. Like I said, it's the biggest Ninjago City set, and an effort was really put in to create like this really new thing with the cable car. And so I applaud the creativity. I just don't think it's worked out. It feels super, super empty. That's just the biggest problem with this set. The whole middle just kind of annoys me. I don't understand where 6,000 parts went, I have to be honest. Like, if you told me this set was 4,000 parts, I would believe you. It is pretty detailed, but again, like, that's what bothers me about the plain areas. Like, that walkway at the back, it could have so much more detail. There could be more stuff going on there, even if it's just as simple as more potted plants. But instead, it's just a bunch of gray open space. And that's not what I want from Ninjago City. I want like the hustle and bustle of urban life. And I get what this set was going for. It just doesn't appeal to me. Without a doubt, its biggest issue is that it's not playable around all 4 sides the way that the other Ninjago City sets are. And again, you'll see that more clearly when I connect them all together. But honestly, I'm kind of sad to connect this to my other Ninjago City sets because I think that the other ones are such a step above this one. And that's not to say that this is a bad set. I still think that there's a lot to do with this compared to any other $370 Lego set. You know, it's still got like a lot more going for it than, say, buying like a $350 Marvel or Star Wars set. You should definitely get this over something like that. But to me, the first 2 Ninjago City sets were like a 10 out of 10 and a 9 out of 10. And then the Ninjago City Gardens were also like a 9 out of 10, or maybe an 8.5, because like I said, I really didn't like the tiny interiors on that set. And this one definitely feels like a 7. It feels really unfair to give it anything below a 7, but I think a 7 is appropriate. Most things are still done pretty well, but there's just those couple things that are impossible to get past. So let me know what you guys think about this set in the comments below. Don't forget to like and subscribe as well, and check out my website, goldenninja3000.com, and I'll see you guys with more videos soon. Bye for now.